Hey everyone, I've literally just come back from a trip to Toronto in Canada and it was amazing. Had the most incredible time. My wife and me managed to visit all the places we wanted to go to, like the CN Tower, the awesome aquarium, all the museums, all the Tim Hortons. Honestly, I ate about 1 million donuts, those apple fritters, oh my word. And we even managed to get to Niagara Falls, and that was the most incredible experience. I'm probably saying incredible a lot. Bear with me because I'm suffering from extreme jet lag. Didn't think I was going to get it, but here I am. I'm very tired. Anyway, you didn't come to this video to hear about all my sightseeing adventures. Well, maybe you have, but you probably came here because you want to know about all the geeky places I visited, and probably more importantly, what I picked up. Well, apart from a bunch of really cheap Stephen King books, which I've got really obsessed with. I mean, look at these pocket-sized editions. They're so handy. Apart from all of those, I did pick up quite a bit, so let's get into it. Okay, first up, I actually went to a couple of GameStops. Now, if you're from Canada or America, anywhere over there, GameStop is probably not that exciting. But for someone over here in the UK, we don't have a GameStop. Well, I didn't think we did. So I've heard about this in loads of podcasts and movies and all that, so I had to jump into a GameStop. And obviously, I'm into video games and merch and all that stuff, so I needed to see what it was all about. It's basically our version of Game, which sells video games and merch. It's the same thing, and HMV actually does quite a lot of that as well without the video games. So if you've been to a Game or HMV over here, you've pretty much done the Game experience, although they'd have stuff in there that I have not seen, like some cool Dungeons and Dragons figures, and it was just kind of cool to be in there. I was listening into the employees as they were talking about what was going on with the whole Switch 2 fiasco, which was quite interesting. But yeah, overall, if you've been to any of those shops over here, you've been to a GameStop. So it wasn't that exciting. Moving on. Now, next up is Toronto Collective. Now, this is more like it, and this was actually on my list to visit at some point when I was over there, but I just happened upon it while we were visiting Chinatown. So I wasn't ready to take any video, so just got some shots of outside, actually. This shop is split into two. On the left-hand side when you go in, it's all like trading cards and vintage toys, all that kind of thing. And on the right-hand side, it's like spray paints and maybe for like graffiti or hobbyists, that kind of thing. Got a cool vibe when you go in there. But anyway, I was interested in the card section, of which they had so many. Honestly, it was a bit overwhelming, but this is something I wanted to get into collecting, and I just want to collect like one of each franchise, whether it be a TV show or a film or whatever. So I was a bit overwhelmed by the amount they had, because I was like, I don't want to spend all my money in one place. But I did buy these 3 packets. I bought a packet of Gremlins 2 cards. There we go. That's got 9 cards, 1 sticker, and a stick of bubblegum. I'm not going to eat the bubblegum. I got some Return of the Jedi, which has got 10 cards in. The cool thing about the Jedi one is that they have multiple covers. I only bought this one, which was the C-3PO, but they did have covers of other characters. I'm sure Lando was on one of them, so I do need to get the others at some point for my collection. And then I got this one. I chose this one. I told myself I'm going to get 3 because I didn't know what... This was at the start of my week, so I didn't know what else I was going to, find elsewhere. I got these Fright Flicks. I think that's Pumpkinhead on the front. I'm not quite sure. This can have like different, horror icons in there, like Freddy Krueger and all that. I'm not quite sure. They just look cool. It's something I have to look at. I do like the idea of getting like a double of these, then I can open those. But at the moment, I want to just collect them all like that. Maybe get a little stand and put them out there. I've seen people collect like a full set or just like multiple packs. I can't get into that. I'm happy with just that. I've got some more to have a look at in a minute. Anyway, that was Toronto Collective. If you're ever in Chinatown, go and check them out. The guy who was like helping me out to run the store, super helpful. Like everybody in Canada, honestly, anywhere you go, whether it's like a train station or a supermarket or like a retro shop, everyone is super nice, and I've been to plenty of places where that is not the truth. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, next up we come to a place called Playtime Toys. Now, you're probably wondering, what the hell is this? It's just a normal shop. This was situated in a mall, Dufferin Mall, and I kept getting the name wrong because I kept thinking of Dunder Mifflin, from The Office, for some reason, so I was calling it Dunder Mifflin Mall. But anyway, Playtime Toys, I wasn't aware of this place. This was not on my list because it's a modern toy shop, but I did go in there and they did have quite a bit of Motu and some of the stuff I didn't have. Well, one figure I didn't have, and it's not like an exceptional figure. It's Stratos. No one's really bothered about this one. Everyone kind of complains because it's got a shirt off and all that. I didn't own this. It was super cheap. It was like $17. That works out at about £8 over here, which is super cheap for an Origins figure. That, for my collection, I was so made up with. They did have some other figures as well, but I already had them. But I was happy to get that super cheap for the collection. Another place I came across in the Dufferin or Dundon Mifflin Mall, as I keep calling it, was Spencer Gifts. Now, this is another one of those places like GameStop that if you were over in America or Canada, wherever this shop is originated from, you're not bothered by it. You probably see it every day. But over here, it's kind of a novelty. It's like, oh, Spencer Gifts, people talk about that. It's pretty cool. It's basically a place that has a lot of pop culture, like toys and gifts and all that, references and all that stuff in there. And it was cool. My wife probably liked it more than me. We were checking out a lot of like t-shirts and mugs and things like that. I didn't get any from there, but it was a cool place to visit. Okay, so moving on to a bit of a big one, and it was a big letdown. Bit of a spoiler, but Toys R Us. Now, Toys R Us was definitely up there on my list of places to visit. Now, there are multiple stores, so maybe I just got hit with a wrong one, maybe. But, you know, we don't have any Toys R Us over here in the UK, although the odd store has been popping up in affiliation with the WH Smiths, but I don't really count them as proper stores. But anyway, this store was big enough. It was in the mall. It was a big store-ish, but it really lacked variety. Maybe because it was just nothing I wanted. Maybe it was just great for everyone else, but I just expected more. And maybe because I've just been spoiled by the likes of Smiths over here in the UK, because it just had a lot of what Smiths has got, maybe even less. But there were some cool things in there, like this Freddy Krueger glove I thought was amazing. I've not seen anywhere. You wouldn't see that in Smiths because Smiths is kind of aiming at like kids. But anyway, I didn't think I'd see something like this in a shop with, you know, for toys. And it was a Freddy Krueger glove that looked like real knives. I really wanted to buy it, but I didn't want to risk getting it confiscated, taking it through customs. Can you imagine taking a Freddy Krueger glove through security? Can you imagine that popping up and I'm going like, well, what's this? Because they look like real knives. There's no way they let me through, so I didn't want to risk wasting that money, as cool as it was in hand. But anyway, moving on, there was one Motu figure, and bless him, by the guy I asked, who was super helpful, another really helpful person, directed me to the Motu section, of which there was one figure. It was Ram Man. It was super cheap, but I already own him, so it was not worth picking up. And they had a bunch of other stuff too. Like, if you were on the lookout for some Sonic the Hedgehog or Bob Ross energy drinks, that was the most weirdest thing ever, then Toys R Us is the place for you. But I did buy one thing, and it is weird. I bought some socks, guys. I bought some socks. Bought some Halloween 5 socks. You can tell I'm old. I went to Toys R Us and bought socks. That's when you know you're old. But anyway, it said designed in Canada, which is weird. It's not even the best Halloween, is it? But I thought it was so weird that they sold these. I was like, I'm not leaving without these. I can't even remember how much they were, actually. That's a good price to buy. But I bought these. I don't even know what the size is. UK 6.5 to 11. I could probably get away with that. So I bought Halloween 5 socks. Don't judge me. I had to go away with something. A souvenir from Toys R Us. And it was Halloween 5 socks. To be honest, that kind of goes with a Friday the 13th bookmark I bought in one of the bookshops in Toronto. There's an amazing bookshop called Indigo, and I saw that. I was like, there's no way I'm leaving without that. So there's a bit of a theme going on with horror icons there. If it would have got the Freddy Krueger glove, that would have been a good trio, wouldn't it? But yeah, no way getting that through customs. Okay, next up was my absolute geeky highlight for this trip, and it was Treehouse Collectibles. Now, this was situated a little bit outside of where we were staying. It was in East York, so it took a bus or two to get to. Only about half an hour, so it wasn't that much. But it was incredible. Here had everything, honestly. I just think of any vintage toy and they had it. They had all the Transformers, all Star Wars. They even had a Jason or Wheeled Warriors figure, which I've never seen in person. It was incredible. Ghostbusters, Mighty Max, Power Lords, Turtles, and of course Motu. Lots and lots of Motu. Loads of stuff I was so frustrated about because there was no way I was going to get in the case back home. They had a vintage Grayskull, Snake Mountain, Crystal Castle, which I've never seen in person. I'm hoping Motu will re-release that, you know, on the Origins line at some point. It is the 40th anniversary of She-Ra this year. So, you know, what are you doing? Mattel Creations do it. They even had a Blaster Hawk, which I've never seen in person. I've only seen pictures of it. That was incredible. So you're probably asking, well, Steve, if there's loads of stuff there, did you buy anything from Treehouse Collectibles? Oh, well, I certainly did. Obviously, we're going to get some figures here. You know, recently I did a figure review of Rio Blast, the new version of Rio Blast under the Origins line, and it's an incredible figure. I got the classic one. I got him. Look how cool he looks. Look how good he looks. I mean, his weapons are now like just stuck to his hands. He's in really good condition. I can't remember how much it cost. It wasn't that much. I think he probably ended up about 30 quid. But if I compare him to the new one, there we go. The new one looks a little bit lighter, doesn't he? I love that figure, and I really want to collect all the vintage figures. So why don't I get that? Because I never see Rio Blast. Talking about Motu, I did pick up a cartoon collection figure as well. I got Skeletor. It's the most obvious one to get. I just didn't have it yet, and I thought this would be a nice memento of getting it there to take home. And as you know me, in the same way I got the Stratos, the good thing about getting these figures abroad, not in the UK, is that the little mini comic you get in there has actually got text in. The European ones don't have any text, which is rubbish. Did you buy anything else, Steve? Well, yes, thanks for asking. I also bought something for my Ghostbusters collection here as well, which is the Peter Venkman Fright features. You might have seen this in the video before, but you can see his head goes up and his eyes pop out, and his arm, I think it's when he's supposed to move his arm. His eyes pop out. His eyes are not in the best state, to be honest, but it was super cheap. It worked out about £10 for this, and it's complete. And he threw in a stand as well. Super nice guy who working there. Very good condition. Got the ghost around his arm. He got his zapper, whatever it's called there. So very happy with that, because I've just been buying my Ghostbusters collection, all the ghosts, and I realised I wasn't buying any of the Ghostbusters. So that was a good start. So you've probably seen in the cutaways they've been showing that there was loads of cards there as well. If not, I'll show those cutaways now. But I did pick up some cards. I bought a pack of 18 cards. How cool are they? Mr. T on the top there. Here he is. You get 10 stickers, 1 sticker, and 10 cards, 1 sticker bubblegum. Don't need the gum. I got a pack of Batman cards. These are very important for me. These are the pack of cards I had when I was a kid. I had the whole set of Batman cards. I've told the story many times, but I had the whole set. Some lad in school asked me, could he have a look at them, and he grabbed them off me and threw them in the air and said, universal sign of come and get them. And to everybody, which is Beanio. And like a swarm of locusts, all the children came and stole all my cards. There's another packet as well, with different varying cover. That might be the second series of those Batman cards. There we go. And last but not least is RoboCop 2 from that place as well. How cool does that look? Yeah, I need a way to display all these cards. I don't want to just get a little box and put them in. Like a little glass shelf would be quite nice, like a print off or something. Somewhere that, I think I found some space. But anyway, that's what I got from Treehouse Collectibles. If you're ever in Toronto and you're into vintage toys, you also sell retro video games as well. If you know me, I was looking all over the Atari 2600 games and the NES games, but I'd spent enough at this point. But yeah, if you are in Toronto, go and visit Treehouse Collectibles. It is incredible. Let's move on. Okay, next up is an awesome place called Era Vintage, and that's situated in downtown Toronto in a mall called The Well. My god, this place was amazing. It's mostly clothing, but I'll be honest, I didn't even look at any of that stuff because my eyes were just fixed on all the shelves around, which was just loads of vintage toys and stickers and cards and all that stuff. We got some more cards coming up. But anyway, I'll show you the first thing I picked up here, and it was a vintage He-Man jigsaw. Look at that. You can see on the sides as well, you can see there's some other ones to collect. It's not in the greatest condition, but it worked out at about £10, which I thought was amazing. I'll just open it up, which at first I didn't think I could open up. But you can see it is complete. It's quite heavy as well. It's weirdly heavier when you open it up, but you can see you got the two sides there. It's not double-sided, which I first thought it was, but it's all done. I might have to mix it up and do it again. But anyway, I also got this Thundercats badge as well, which I've probably seen in other places, but I was very excited when I saw it. It was the biggest badge there, and I was like, oh, I've got to jump on that. A couple of more packs of cards. Got a Terminator 2 pack. It's so much easier to get cards over there. I guess we don't do it as much over here, I don't know. Terminator 2 and Ghostbusters 2 as well. They all vary in price. These were $10, so that was like $5 for that one. Probably the most expensive one I bought. Everything else was about $5. So yeah, I don't know why they priced those a bit more expensive, but I couldn't walk away without some Ghostbusters merch, could I? The last thing I bought in there was pretty exciting really for me, for my Nintendo collection. It was a Nintendo Wii lunchbox. Now, it doesn't feel vintage, but this is going back 20 odd years ago now, isn't it, if you think about it? Just love the condition of it, and I was also thinking this would be a great thing to put all my figures that I've been buying over in Canada in, so when you get home, the They're in a case. And this cost $20, so about £10. I thought that was reasonable. It's probably about that price anyway on eBay, but I thought it was quite nice. I'm not getting into collecting lunchboxes, he says. I did look at loads there, and I've looked at loads in previous videos and have been excited about them. But this is a modern one anyway. It's not like the plastic ones from the 80s. I did see an 18 one there. But anyway, they were very excited about this, selling me this for some reason, because this has been something that they've, you know, that people come in to see or something like that, or every time they talk about it on social media, people point it out. Compared to all the other stuff, I was more excited about the Moto Jigsaw. But they were so excited about it, they even took a photo of me with it for their Instagram, which I'll show on the screen now. But again, lovely people running that shop. I was tempted to go back because I did see a Gremlins Jigsaw as well. You always think about the things you didn't pick up, don't you? But anyway, great store. That was called Era Vintage. Okay, next up is a retro gaming store called A&C Games, situated in kind of around the same area. It wasn't too far from it anyway. But this place was just heaven for me because, you know, I love NES stuff. NES. Don't judge me, either way I'm going to say it. There were 2 NES games on my list to get from Canada if I came across any retro gaming stores, and that was Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th, because you couldn't get that over here. So I was so excited to be able to pick up Friday the 13th, the other copy of that. Sadly, no Nightmare on Elm Street. I would love a copy of that. But anyway, this cost $34, which is about £16. Super cheap, because I expect that to be way more on eBay. I'm sure it was Nightmare on Elm Street was a lot more money anyway. Let's be honest, it's not a great game. I think Nightmare on Elm Street is a good game, but this one is not a great game really. Jason! God, but I wanted it for my collection. I'm a bit of a 80s horror fan anyway, so I wanted it for the collection, and I collect NES games, as you can see somewhere over here. There you go. So it goes in that collection. Probably going to end up in a cart attack, which is a bit of a spoiler. If you watch my stream, you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay, lastly was a really fun place that we came across in Union Station, which was really close to where we were staying. And it was a gashapon shop. You know, one of those, you put money in, you get a capsule out. And you buy tokens, and then you can choose which capsule machine you want to get a toy out of. So I had one go. I think I had to pay 2 tokens for this, which I can't remember how much a token was. Most of the machines were 2 tokens, and there were some really cool ones, which were 5 tokens. So you could end up spending a lot of money in there. And as you can see in this B-roll here, I went to the Nintendo one because I've been absolutely obsessed with Nintendo lately. Over the holiday, I played a lot of Switch, got super excited about the Switch 2. I just jumped at the chance to get in a Mario one, and out popped a Yoshi, which I'm very happy about. Here's a little fella now. I love the fact that his nose is kind of transparent or translucent, whatever you want to say there, but it's very nice. Really nice color green. But that's going to go on my keys. Lovely. So yeah, that was the geeky side of Toronto, and like I said at the start of the video, oh my word, I had the most amazing time over there. My wife and me just ate so many donuts. I need to lose a few pounds before I venture into a Tim Hortons again, let me say that. But one of the coolest things and one of the weirdest frustrating things about going on this trip is that as the day I was going, the Switch 2 Direct was happening, so I knew nothing about the Switch 2 because when I was on a plane while that was on. So as soon as we landed and got to a hotel, I jumped on a call with Pastor Plunger, my co-host for the podcast, and we did a video of me reacting to all of that Switch 2 news. So if you want to see me reacting to all of that news, I'll link a video somewhere here or below and you can watch it. And just bear in mind, I have been traveling for a whole day, tired than I am now. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this, guys, and I'll see you next time in another video. Bye bye.